Good morning, guys. Welcome back. We're to the channel. In today's video, we're actually going to be working on the 6.0. So, a couple months ago, I got a fast fuel system from our friends over at Blessed Performance, and we've been doing a lot of stuff between the powder coat oven and everything else. So, I haven't had a chance to get it installed, but we're finally going to be installing it, and I also got some other goodies, which y'all will see either in the video before this or the video after this. I don't know exactly which order I'm going to put them in, but anyway, I've been driving this thing around trying to get it somewhat low on fuel, and we're there. So I'm going to be pulling this thing into the shop, and in the morning we're going to be installing this fuel system. So there's nothing wrong with the pump that's on here, but anyway, like I said, we're going to pull it in the shop because I think it's supposed to rain. So I'm going to hop up in here and, well, give this thing a start. I'm probably going to take it for a little drive, run a little more of the fuel out of it, and like I said, we'll pull this thing in the shop and get ready for installing our fast. Alright, so sorry if that's annoying if y'all hear that. But anyway, I've already unboxed the fuel system a couple months ago when I got it. So let's cut back to that. Hopefully I still have the clips. I don't remember for sure, but we'll cut to that, and then well, I guess I'll catch y'all first thing in the morning and we'll get started on installing our new fuel system. Alright guys, so we're actually working on cleaning out our storage building, and come home to a box. So I'm gonna cool off a minute because it's like 115 with the heat index. So I'm gonna step in here, cool off a minute, and we will check out our mystery box here. Alright, so our buddy Matt over at Blessed Performance, he actually has or runs a Facebook group. I'll put a picture up here on the screen right now. So his brother Jonathan, actually, who does a lot of their marketing and stuff like that, actually sent me a message the day we finished the 300 and said, hey, you won this we're not going to say what it is yet, for subscribing to our YouTube channel, and whatever else. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this opened up and check it out. Alright, so I'm not gonna show you all this stuff over here, might give it away, but I've already opened it up, kind of looked at it, got all the packaging nonsense out of the way. But in this package we have a fast fuel system for the 6.0. So we have all of our fittings, we have the draw straw, the new, I guess you would call it a hat, I guess, some brackets, the harness, the fuel line. Now, the whole draw straw thing, I am actually going to look and see if I can get a sump for the truck. And I already know these brackets, powder's kind of chipped up, probably from shipping, but I'm going to probably end up powder coating those just for the heck of it. But anyway, I'm going to get all this stuff packaged back up. Like I said, I'm going to see if I can get a sump. That would be a little better probably for our instance. But anyway, huge shout out to Matt over at Blessed. But I'm going to get all this stuff packaged back up. Also guys, one thing I did want to mention, if you enjoyed today's video or got any value out of it, please get down there and consider subscribing. I would appreciate it. But anyway, let's get back to the video. Alright guys, so we're working on getting the sump installed. That I believe was the last video that y'all seen. But while this thing is draining we're going to go ahead and get started on the wiring harness. So with the wiring harness, from what I've seen, you're going to run the single red wire into the cab of the truck with the fuse tap, and then you have your positive and negative that you're going to run to your battery. We'll mount this under the firewall, or under the hood, and same thing with the relay. And they also give you this nice boot for your relay. So anyway, we'll go ahead, like I said, start running this wiring and get this ready to go. Keep an eye on this, make sure this doesn't overflow, because we've done drained probably 5 gallons out of the thing. And well, go ahead and start getting our pump ready to go. Okay guys, so while my grandpa's working on running the wiring, got everything up here, run it down through there and along the frame rail, and we're going to kind of leave it loose. We're not going to tie anything up, and then when we put the pump in, plug the pump in, we'll kind of tidy everything up afterwards. The same thing with the sump. We're not going to tighten the sump up until we get the pump in and make sure everything's going to work out as far as where the fittings on the pump are pointed to. So while he's working on that, I'm going to go ahead and get started putting our fittings onto the pump itself. FASS does have a PDF on their website because they don't include instructions with these. So I will link it down below in the top of the description, as well as for this pump itself. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start putting all of our fittings on and getting everything tightened. One thing, make sure you do not put any pressure on the draw straw here, or whatever you call this. Don't put any pressure on it. Don't bend it. Be very careful with it. And also, since we're doing the sump, we're not going to be using the draw straw here set up. So anyway, I'm going to get started on these, get them all installed where they need to go, get them tightened, and we'll move on from there. Okay, so we just got the sump installed. We have the wire ran. It's not connected. As you can see, we still have everything here. But went ahead and kind of like test fitting all of our fittings and whatnot here. So these here, I believe, is what will fit. Oh, there goes that one. But I believe this is what is going to work with this hose here. I will double check here in a moment, but I figured there's two of the same size. That's probably where they're going to go. The big one for the feed line down there, I know it fits. I just test fitted it. And I'm thinking we might have to turn this a little more down. That way it works with the sump a little better, and it doesn't have to go up and then back down. So might have to turn this some more, but it's in there. Pretty easy to turn, so it's not terribly bad. Still need to tighten all these. This was factory installed from FASS, but this one I need to tighten. I need to tighten all of these because they're just, kind of hand tight. Just a kind of a test fit. So anyway, I got to go do some stuff here in the house real quick, and I got to ship some stuff off. So I'm going to do that. When we come back, we'll get this all put back together, all put together, rather, and get it mounted and go from there. Now, I seen in the FASS instructions you need to prime this pump with some WD-40 or something like that. So we will do that before we get too carried away. But anyway, like I said, I got to run do some stuff. So anyway, when we get back, like I said, we'll get all this put together and mounted on the truck. Okay, so I figured I'd go ahead and start working on the wiring here. And I will say, y'all know I've installed lots of lighting between headlights, halo kits, demon eyes, all kinds of stuff, all over the place, tons of stuff over the years. And I will say, FASS probably has one of the nicest harnesses of anything that I have ever installed. to be completely honest with you. And Fast isn't paying me. Fast didn't sponsor the fuel system. So it doesn't make me any difference to say it's good or bad, but I will say Fast probably has one of the nicest harnesses that I have ever seen and installed. For instance, wiring. Most of the time, wiring on everything is just thin little crappy wire, whereas the Fast wiring, nice thick gauge wire, very, very nice. So Fast, if anybody from Fast is watching this video, good job, you did awesome. But anyway, and they also send you, where's that? There it is. They also send you the ring terminals that you need, the fuse tap that you can use, fuses, the whole deal. And the ring terminals are big end terminals, which on my batteries I need, because on these batteries, one thing I love about Odyssey batteries is they have these secondary terminals. So generally speaking, with everything wiring wise, the ring terminals are always too small for these, and you got to kind of drill them out or shove them down on and make them fit. And also, I would like to clean this up while we're here, these wires here. So that's that. Another thing, the relay. So the end for the relay over here, yeah, right there. I think I'm going to mount it right here on this stud. That way it is nice and clean. And again, I'm going to clean these up, and I'm kind of thinking about moving this relay while we're here, but it don't have a whole heck of a lot of wire on it, so we'll see what we can do with that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get these ends stripped, and go ahead and get these ring terminals on there. And again, with these stripped, nice quality wire. Everybody else in the automotive industry needs to take note, because that's quality wire. So anyway, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get these ring terminals installed, and we'll go ahead, mount the relay and all the stuff in here. The other end of this end, we need to run through the cab of the truck with this fuse tap and tap into an ignition hot fuse. So we'll do that. Hopefully I can find one, because I know when we did these are wired in the same way, and it was a little bit difficult to find, but we'll see what we can figure out, and I guess we'll go from there. Alright guys, so we got the pump all mounted up in here. So you can kind of see it there. Sorry for the light, but what we did was the L bracket. So what we did is, there is a flat piece with a nut in it. It'll go into that bed mount right there. You have an isolator on the inside, isolator on the bottom, then your L bracket. In the Fast instructions, it looks like the L bracket runs this way, but to put it a little closer to the frame, and kind of a little more protective, I get hit in the side with one of these lovely Arkansas drivers, it'll be a little more protected this way. So did that, got it mounted. We got about an inch and a half from the fitting to the spring hanger, which should be plenty, and it is all the way down. So if we look, the filters really don't come down any further than the tank, so we should be fine there. And if you look, it doesn't really hang down any further than the step itself, so we should be fine there. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the fuel line cut. We're putting those barb fittings on the line and then thread them onto the pump. Makes it a little easier that way. So did that, got the pump primed, went ahead, threw the filters on it. So we're good to go there. All we need to do is run our fuel line up. our return line to the sump and the feed line from the sump to the pump. And up here we need to run the wire through the firewall into the cabin. And we should theoretically be good to go. Go ahead, throw fuel in this thing and check for any leaks. And then up here, like I said, I still need to run this through the firewall. We used it to kind of bump the pump over and prime it. But anyway, and we still need to unplug the factory pump. So we need to do that. But I got this stuff here all wired, negative to the battery, positive to the battery. And then the relay in its little holder. The holder is actually really nice because it makes all the wires nice and uniform. So run that through there, and again, this will go inside. So that'll be out of the way there. And then we have the fuse holder here. So took the fuse back out while we're doing this. But here in a moment, like I said, I'll go ahead, get this run through the firewall, and we'll find an ignition power source under the dash. Okay, so I got the wire run through. I need to find power in there and connect it. I also got the factory pump disconnected. My grandpa got the fuel line run from the pump all the way up to the front up here where it needs to tie in. And then as far as the return line, you essentially bypass the pump with these blue fittings and a short piece of your fuel line. So we got that all done. Need to put this in, and he's working on the little bypasses. So with the beans sump, it did come with these different sizes of just plugs. So we're going to check, make sure, or see, I guess, if those would work on the factory fuel line coming from the sending unit. So he's working on that, and about to get this tube in, and I'm going to hop in here and see if I can find a ignition hot key on source. So anyway, hopefully here in a moment we'll be able to put the fuel that we took out of this thing back in it and start priming the system and see if we can get this thing started. Alright, so everything is here. Need to clean that up at some point, but we'll see if this thing runs, and we'll mess with that later. Got the relay mounted there. Got everything tied up inside. So I guess we're ready to. Also, my grandpa, while I was working on that, put fuel in it. So I guess I'm gonna hop in here, prime it a couple times, and see if this thing starts. All right, this will be the 4th prime. So let's see. Well, there's that. Now it might run rough here in just a second. We still got it up in the air, but it might run rough here in a second. It might get some air, but it should be fine. So like I said, I'm gonna let this thing run, and I need to get fuel. So we'll, like I said, we'll let it run a minute, and if it does good, we'll pull this thing out of here, and I need to take it to the fuel station and fill it up with fuel. Alright guys, so here it is. Now, I'm not going to take this to get fuel right now. I'm going to go in, get cleaned up, because, well, I smell like diesel fuel. I've been rolling around diesel fuel all day. We started at, I think, 8:30 this morning, and, yeah, so I'm filthy. Camera doesn't even show it that well, but I'm filthy. I need to change clothes. I need to take a shower. I'm gonna do that. That way I don't get this nice tan interior absolutely filthy. And well, I reckon in the next video we'll take this thing up, fill it up with fuel, and take this thing on its first drive. So the truck runs great. So runs great, sounds great. So I don't see why we should have any issues with first drive, but Anyway, I'm gonna kind of pull it up here toward the house. That way I don't have to get dirt and oil and everything all over everything. And guys, I guess that is going to be a wrap for this video. So with that being said, if y'all enjoyed today's video or found it helpful, please drop a like and comment down below. Smash that subscribe button, because I have a lot more that I want to do with this truck here coming up. So I've kind of been reaching out to some companies and, you know, some stuff like that. So hopefully we'll have some stuff here before too long. And also, as y'all know, I just got a new powder coat system. A buddy of mine's wanting some parts done for his truck, and I kind of want to have the first parts done with the new system. So we're going to pull the charge pipes and stuff off of this thing sometime next week, and go ahead and get them powder coated in purple to match our suspension. But anyway, guys, like I said, that is going to be a wrap for today's video. Again, if y'all enjoyed today's video or found it helpful, please drop a like and comment down below. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope everybody has a great day.